the scriptures, he picked a stand, and it's only one Bible, and you read it out to everybody. That was his custom since childhood. And when he came back at that age of his manifestation, it can take 10 years of tarrying. He was 12 to 30 before we saw something. It can take 12 years of tarrying. It can take 2 months of tarrying. It can take 5 months of praying, consistent praying. You realize that when you are able to tarry for consistency, you build a power within you that is able to turn the world upside down. He said they prayed, they gathered and prayed when they were threatened, and the ground was shaking, and everything was shaking. And they said when they went out, they went with boldness, and they preached the gospel, and they healed the sick, and signs followed them, that by their hands miracles were made. Miracles happened. Isaiah said, I and the children which you have given me, I and the sons and daughters which you have given me, we are for signs and wonders, because there is a training they are going to, that whilst people were departing from God, they stand strong and they stand their ground to defend the army of God. They said the Philistines came, and the Israelite army were fleeing, but the mighty men of army, that some of them, Eliza, son of Dodo, all those people, they stand firm. And one, they said he was using a spear. A spear is for long range, but he was using long range targets, but he stood, and a spear could kill 1,000 people, 800 people as one. If you are using a spear, that means you are throwing it at something. But and they said, cleave to his head. But they stayed in the cave of Adullam. You have to stay in the place of prayer, in the place of a saturated atmosphere of worship. When David played his harp, you see things begin to change in the life of men. Demons begin to check out. Things begin to happen. That's how men are strengthened. That's how men are strengthened. It's time that we arise. It's because we have left this thing. That's why it keeps progressing. That the prophets are now birth people. The prophets are now into birthway. The prophets are now birthing. The people who have the gift of God to prophesy in the names of people, to prophesy to change destiny. They are predicting football matches. And they are winning money from it. That's what the devil wants to do. That we will use the gift of God and use it irrelevantly. Irrelevantly. That's it. It's the agenda of the devil. When they met the diviner, they were walking in the hour of prayer, and the divine girl came. He was prophesying. And they said he made more money for his master. When they even cast that devil out, they were annoyed. Why? Realize that until we are able to stand strong, our prophets will always be playing bets. Our Deborahs will always be fornicating and be wearing any kind of dress. Instead of taking their war mantle, they think it's only men that are supposed to stand. When someone calls people Osofumani, I sometimes wonder why every woman of God is only Osofumani. It's Osofumani, but this person, if you look at the agenda of God, if this person can reach a church and be a pastor, why would you call her Osofumani? You get it? These are some of the things that have belittled women, that they never knew that the mantle of God can be upon their life, that they will bring forth a generation, that they will birth a child that will turn the world upside down, just as Mary and Elizabeth birthed a child that even at their pregnancy stage, these children were communicating by the realms of the spirit, and the atmosphere they were in changed, and you see spirit interaction. We looked at spiritual orchestration, orchestrating it by prayer. That is it. When you begin to understand this thing, that you have to stand strong, you have to demarcate your path. The things we are seeing happening, that people are betting and all these things. It's the way of Balaam. Balaam was prophesying for money, was prophesying for resources. We see angels. He was even having encounters with angels. You can be having encounters with angels and use your gift to pollute God's agenda. You can be going to the church. You can know the God of Israel. Balaam knows the God of Israel. He had information about the God of Israel. But we realized that he was using the gift in sake of money. The moment you see you are struggling to always make money, you are betting 5 CD, you come to church, you give 1 CD. Just imagine you are betting 2 CD, you come to church, and even the betting within a week wasn't 1. You bet 7 days, even if it's 1 CD, 7 CD. You come to church, you give 2 CD. And God, you are expecting God to put a fire on your head. You are expecting God to anoint you. And you use the church money to bet. And you use the crusade money. That's it. God is looking for people he can trust. He's looking for people he can trust. He's looking for people he can trust. He's looking. Searching for men. I'm telling you, we have been plagued that you see the advert. You see battery, you see alcohol. These are some of the things that the devil advertises. You see a product be advertised, you see a naked person attached to it. This was the counsel that Balaam gave, that these people, God is with them. There is no way you can bring them. So send women that are beautiful, that will be naked, walking among them. The moment is left with them, then everything will be settled. They are broken. This was the advice Balaam gave. And it worked. The moment the woman came and the people of Israel, God was angry with them. And that was how they are protecting with God, their beauty, their glory, everything ceased. And they began their journey of suffering because of a prophet that knew the ways of God, but decided to use it for his own benefit. Own benefit. We have to cry for our generation. Because if we don't cry, people don't go to church. Throughout the week, they are okay. But the person has given his life to Christ. You that you are saying you watch online, how attentive have you been online? You go and pick tea, pick up, pick this thing.